What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So out of all the battles that the 7 times 212 Mr. Olympia champion Flex Lewis fought over the years, the year 2014 might be his toughest one, where the best from Brazil, Eduardo Correa, brought his absolute best physique on the stage. And to this day, so many people still believe that Eduardo Correa should have won that year. So these two legends of the 212 class, Flex Lewis and Eduardo Correa, were spotted together in Brazil, as Flex Lewis is doing a tour in Brazil, conducting training camps and seminars. So both of these guys hitting that side chest shot, that gave such a nostalgic feeling. So Flex Lewis is retired from all sorts of competitive bodybuilding for officially 3 years now, and he hasn't stepped on any bodybuilding stage since 2018, so more than 6 years now. But still, the man is rocking a very solid physique, and he still looks very awesome. Eduardo Correa, on the other hand, hasn't made any official announcement or a statement that he is retiring or that he is no longer gonna compete. And if you guys remember, back in 2022 he made his comeback. He won a pro show and he got to the Olympia stage as well. But that Eduardo was only a shadow of his former self, and he has been one of the most unlucky bodybuilders in the last couple of decades. He has had so many injuries over the years, and some career-threatening injuries as well. But the man always came back. But all those injuries took their toll, and the last time we saw him on the Olympia stage, he wasn't the same anymore. Plus, the guy is now 42 years old, so we cannot expect him to place high at big shows like the Olympia, especially this late in his career, especially after coming off of a very major injury. So at the Olympia 2022, Eduardo was unable to place in that top 15. So maybe he's gonna do one more show and say goodbye to the fans on the stage, because he stays in a very phenomenal shape year round. So most of us have seen that crazy tricep shot of Eduardo that went absolute viral back in the day. And that shot is what made him so famous. For most of the guys, it is downhill when they turn 40 in bodybuilding. And that is why the former 212 Mr. Olympia champion Kamal, he is an absolute legend of the sport, over 50 years old and still placing top 3 in the world. And not to forget, beating some very big mass monsters at this past Masters Olympia, which he won by the way. So most of you guys won't believe that Kamal has been competing in the pro ranks for more than 2 decades now. That's 20 years. So Kamal has backed off all the gear, all the PEDs, because it is the month of Ramadan. And he's ready to go back to full throttle of training and diet once again, once Ramadan ends. Now we do not exactly know whether he would like to end his career in the 212 or the men's open bodybuilding, because he did say at one point last year that he wants to compete in the men's open Olympia. So winning the Masters Olympia last year did give him that opportunity. But due to some family emergency, Kamal had to sit out of that show. He did not compete at the Olympia last year. So whenever anyone will talk about the list of bodybuilders with the most longevity that we have seen in bodybuilding, Dexter Jackson will be on the top of that list. But Kamal will be right up there with Dexter Jackson. Next up, we have a few updates from Detroit Pro, which is happening next weekend. So if you guys look at some of the recent training videos put up by theMartian-Fitzwater, you will immediately realize one thing. His voice has no enthusiasm, no energy whatsoever, and that is a good thing. That's how most bodybuilders feel this close to the show, when they're depleted, when they are running low carbs, and when their tank is almost empty.
Then a back off set, just lightening the weight. As you guys can see,
So Martin will have a pretty good shot at winning Detroit Pro and qualifying for the Olympia 2024. So this is gonna be his first competition after almost 2 years. So he is gonna be 100% fresh and ready to bring the heat. Even back in 2022, when Branch Warren was the one coaching him, he was a pretty damn good bodybuilder. He was just lacking size, he was kinda small. But the conditioning that he brought at Texas Pro 2022, that enabled him to beat guys like Steve Koklo, Quentin Beast, and Kamal as well. The guy that he lost to at that show was Andrew Jack. And even then, that was a pretty close show. So he is obviously going to be bigger this time around, and that might be enough to win his first pro show and qualify for the Olympia. Now his biggest competition here is going to be Justin Rodriguez, at least as of right now, who is obviously a bigger, more wider guy. He has a bigger frame than him, so he has got that size advantage over Martin. But the thing is, we haven't seen the best of Justin in a long time. The Arnold Classic Ohio was a big disappointment for him, as he couldn't even place top 6 at that show. So if the absolute best version of Justin Rodriguez shows up here, which is highly unlikely, the kind of Justin that we saw at the Arnold Classic 2022 or Boston Pro that same year, if that shows up here, he can definitely win this show. But the chances of that happening are kinda slim. So Justin is also working with a new coach this time, Justin JKB, who is also coaching Tony Burton. Maybe he can work his magic with Justin in Detroit. So who do you guys have winning here? Justin Rodriguez or Martin-Fitzwater? And do not forget, Goodvito is also gonna be here. But we can speculate more about him after seeing him compete at the Arnold Classic Brazil, which is happening in just 3 days time now. Behrouz Abani keeps getting impressive as he hits that 10 weeks out mark from his first show of the year, and that is going to be Emperor Classic Spain. The latest physique update is taken through a mirror, and he is looking so swole here that makes you think that it might be the mirror that is doing something. It might be the mirror that is making him look wider than usual. But nonetheless, he looks extremely impressive and really phenomenal. One can only imagine what Behrouz can achieve if he continues to pack on more size, more mass, especially on his lower half. He has a very pleasing shape. He's also one of those tall guys, and he flows extremely well. And not only just that, he has that Hadi Choopan-like gritty conditioning, which is something that the other taller guys like Andrew Jack or Samson Dauda, they do not have that yet. And maybe we will never see that on these guys. And Behrouz, on the other hand, has shown us a few times that he can come in peeled to the bone and absolutely shred it. So he is going to be super dangerous and super competitive this year. We don't know whether we are going to see him compete at the Olympia stage against the best of the best, but he will stand next to some greats like Michael Cristo and Andrea Presti in Spain, and against Andrew Jack at Dubai Pro in July. And maybe Brendan Carey will also show up there, and there is a very high likelihood that Regan Grimes is also going to show up at Dubai Pro. Lastly, we have a physique update of Rubiel Mosquera aka Nexila, and that is about 17 weeks out of his show, which is gonna be Dubai Pro this time apparently. And I have to say he looks pretty damn good. So even if Rubiel is able to win his first pro show in 2024, which I have to say isn't gonna be an easy task, because Dubai Pro lineup is gonna be star-studded. But let's say for the sake of argument that he does win, and he does qualify for the Olympia. We aren't really sure whether he will get to the Olympia stage or not, because as far as we know, his attendance at the Arnold Classic Ohio and UK, that did not happen because of the visa issue as well, or at least that is what his team told us. And who knows, maybe he deferred his plans of competing at this upcoming New York Pro because of the absence of the visa again. Or maybe the reason is he wasn't going to be ready for either of these shows. So the silver lining about him not competing in any of these shows is that the more time he spends in the improvement phase, the more time he spends getting better and improving his physique, the more impressive he is going to look whenever he steps on stage in 2024. And the chances of him qualifying for the Olympia will be higher. So the guy is just 28 years old, and he is an absolute freak of nature. And I have to say he is going to be one of the most exciting guys to watch out for in 2024 bodybuilding season, especially in the men's open bodybuilding. So do let me know what you guys think. If Rubiel qualifies for the Olympia, and if he does get to the US, can he crack top 10? Do let me know in the comments below. And also hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video. And smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.